we're going to hit the rewind button. So I love Mark Gastineau. There he is. Look, that's Mark Gastineau right there. Thank you, Zach. All right, we can go back. Zach! All right. So the ultimate asshole radio host. So anyways, I love Mark Gastineau. I've been infatuated with him since I was a little kid. I was a defensive end, rush end. I liked the idea of putting on a football helmet and kind of going into character and being flamboyant. And there was no character like Mark Gastineau. Every time he made a big sack, he would dance around. It was crazy. I'd never seen anything like it. It was like Billy White Shoes Johnson. That kind of celebration packaged inside a defensive end. I'd never seen it before. And so I thought that was really cool. It made me think I could play my position and act like a jackass too. And Mark Gastineau married Brigitte Nielsen, was living high on the hog in New York City for many years. Unfortunately ran into problems with cocaine and life and all that stuff. But if you remember in 2001, Brett Favre was playing against the New York Giants, and Michael Strahan was one sack away from the all-time single-season sack record, which was held by Mark Gastineau. Okay, that's what Gastineau used to do. Sack the shit out of the quarterback. Like, you cannot take away that this was an exceptional football player. And there was nobody in football that did what he did better than him. Okay, to the point where his name was etched in the history books. So we go to that game at the Meadowlands. Favre's team's going to the playoffs. It's late in the game. And Brett Favre, if you remember, rolls to his right and basically flops at the feet of Michael Strahan, ultimately registering Strahan the sack he would need to break Gastineau's record for the single season sack record. So let's flash forward. There's a documentary coming out maybe this week, the 13th, right? Yeah, that's Thursday or whatever. So a documentary coming out about the New York sack exchange, which I can't. I'm losing my mind. I can't wait for this thing. It'll only disappoint me at this point. So there was it looks like a trading show where Mark Gastineau runs into Brett Favre. This is never before seen footage, right? Up until today, where it was posted on Instagram, where I saw it. All right, Zach, let's roll.
I thought we met a long time ago. At least I saw you.
Right.
How you doing?
When you fell down for him. I'm going to get my sack back. I'm going to get my sack back, dude.
You probably would hurt me.
Well, I don't care. You hurt me. You hurt me. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You really hurt me. You hurt me, Brett.
We got to get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
I mean, that's like the Real Housewives. Like, that is unbelievable. First of all, there's so much to that story that is compelling for me. One, good for you, Mark Gastineau. That's a difficult thing to do, to let somebody know how you feel in a moment like that. But that's the only chance you're probably going to get. And that was awkward as it can be. Two, tough luck, Brett Favre. Like, that came home to roost, dude. That was a BS move at the time you did it. You actually went on record afterwards saying you did it because you thought Mark Gastineau was a fraud and sucked. In your own way of saying it, okay? And you probably never thought you would come face to face with a Mark Gastineau who would say that to you. So it's one of those things, like, is Brett Favre like this evil guy? No, but he did something that was kind of crappy, and he got called out for it. And it was like, whoa, what a scene, right? And how could Mark Gastineau, somebody who was this big monster of a man who had all kinds of dark clouds following him along with his demons throughout his life, he becomes a victim. I never thought I'd see that, but like he said, you hurt me, because it's true. Like, Gastineau earned that record. Like it or not, whether he was an asshole or whatever, he earned that record on the football field. The way that Strahan got that record was rubbish. And again, nobody's taken away from Michael Strahan and his dominant NFL career, but in a vacuum, that sucked that Brett Favre did that. And let's go one more time, Zach. Can we play it one more time? It's worth playing again.
I thought we met a long time ago. At least I saw you.
Right.
How you doing?
When you fell down for him. I'm going to get my sack back. I'm going to get my sack back, dude.
You probably would hurt me.
Well, I don't care. You hurt me. You hurt me. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
You really hurt me. You hurt me, Brett.
We got to get back to this, Brett. I'm sorry.
Now, one thing Favre could have said, now we're really diving deep into this one. It's like, dude, it was 23 years ago. I mean, but I guess that was Gastineau's shot. I can guarantee you this. If that's me, if I'm in Brett Favre's shoes, you go down to whatever table you're signing whatever at, and you just take like a minute and just stare off like, woof, that was crazy. Like it was like, wow. So that's like my version of reality television, like the best version I could ever see. I hate that Mark Gastineau is obviously carrying around pain with him, because I think that you'd like to see in his life, or at least by now, he could have exercised that, and it comes to a point where he comes face to face with Brett Favre, and it doesn't seem like it was almost like a desperate plea by Mark Gastineau, but a plea nonetheless. And I just found that to be fascinating. And by the way, that clip just came out at like, really, I got it like 2 minutes before 1 o'clock. I sent it to my brother Michael right away, because Mike and I always go back and forth on the Gastineau stuff, because he was just this crazy guy. I mean, remember Gastineau, I've talked about it at length here, put together an extremely suspect and shady boxing career, where he was involved by the darkest of dark figures, or involved around the darkest of dark figures. And there was all kinds of tomfoolery and stuff that was not above board going on with that situation, which Gastineau says, that didn't happen, but whatever. Man,